Alright guys, so today we're going to be installing the fuel tank, which has already been done. I would like to say I did it off camera, but unfortunately I did not actually hit the record button while I was doing this. My phone was literally just sitting here recording nothing. So we have a new fuel hose run all the way around the engine. It does go through this little access port here all the way to the fuel tank. I had to drill another hole right about there. I'm going to put a grommeter on that eventually. Haven't done it just yet. And we have a mounting bracket. It's a piece of angle iron. I'm going to drill into the side right here. It'll be hidden by the hood while the hood's down. And this simply hooks up to those two mounting holes on the fuel tank. So now that we've got fuel, in the last video we made sure we had spark. All the electrical is done, all for one small part. We're going to be installing this solenoid in line, that way the battery does not die. The solenoid will come on with the key, so the battery will be completely disconnected from the rest of the tractor. So we're gonna get the fuel tank all set up right here. We're gonna get it mounted, fill it up with gasoline, and we're gonna see if this puppy will fire off. If you like all this content, be sure to like and subscribe. That's good for the algorithm apparently, and I'd like to get a few more views on these videos than I have been getting, so we're gonna see if that works at all. Let's get to it. So we have this now screwed on here. This is in the way right now. I'm going to take this off. For now, we're going to leave this on here as is. That way we can continue on to the next step, which is seeing if this thing is going to fire off. So, a couple of things. We're going to turn on the fuel down here. I've already got this thing fueled up with gas. That's going to send fuel through the fuel line into the carburetor, and we're going to see if the carburetor fills up and doesn't overflow. Hopefully it doesn't overflow. It's a brand new carburetor. It is for a larger Briggs & Stratton engine, and I'm hoping that it runs just fine on this engine right here, and the float valve is not stuck. It's just spilled gasoline. That would be great. Now we have the battery hooked up. So move this up. See, I don't see any gasoline here, which is a good thing. That, or it's just not going through the fuel line. All right, let me get you off this mount here. Alrighty, so we've got that fuel line going through here, filling up the carburetor. We're going to need to likely do some tuning on this. And I don't have any of the cables hooked up on this. That is going to be a custom job, one that we can figure out later. So, choke is currently open. We're going to close the choke, and not much I can do about the throttle here. Hopefully it's just going to run. So turn on the key. Hit the start button. Well then. stay choked for now until it warms up. That's the first fire this engine's had in who knows how many years. Goodness gracious, it actually works. Let's try that one more time with the choke closed. Fire's right out. Would you listen to that? This does not want to stay running when it's not choked. It is a little cold out here. I was not happy about that. Clearly we have some tuning to do, but we're going to get this thing fired off and running just proper. Okay, so a good way to tune this would be to turn this all the way in and then back it out by 1.5 turns. And this one by 3/4 of a turns. So this is the needle valve, which adjusts the air-fuel mixture ratio. This is the idle screw right here. Let's plot it out. It's about 1/2, 3/4 of a turn. So we're going to turn this one all the way in. So it bottoms out like it just did. We're going to go 1/2, 1.5. Now we're going to turn this one right here. That's a Phillips. We're going to turn this one right here until it idles up the engine to about 1200 RPM. And that'll be it. Now we're going to turn on the engine. Just need to let the engine warm up. We're going to adjust this just a little bit more up. We're going to back that out just a little bit. So I just saw some black smoke there. That means that we have this screw right here too far out. So I'm going to turn that back in just a tad bit. And we're going to up the idle speed even more with the set screw. Because we want this thing to run without a choke before we start adjusting it. This carburetor is clearly low quality. We've got leaks along this side right here and along the back, and it's leaking fuel past the float back into the intake. It's dripping out right here. Not good quality carb. I'm gonna have to end up rebuilding a brand new carb because China doesn't make good carbs. We're gonna go back in and enrich this. Goodness gracious, that smells rich. Grab the fuel petcock all the way. Let's see how we're doing this time. I'm not smelling fuel anymore, so let's unrich. Oh, we'll richen this. Back this out even more. Again. Well, clearly I'm having issues with this. Engine runs. When it's running, it runs well. But the problem I'm having is this carburetor. So, I'm going to pull this off, fix the leaks that I'm having. First things first, I'm going to turn off this fuel petcock and run the engine until it dies. That way there's no fuel in the lines. But I'm going to take this thing off, rebuild it, and go from there, because this is not working properly. With all the leaks I've got right here, I'm just going to make sure that this thing works properly and it's actually rebuilt by somebody competent. So, next video, we'll have this fuel issue fixed, the leaking right here, and we're going to be designing a new flex plate. I'll go off in here. I don't know if I can get a video of that. There we go. That plate right there is 2 plates sandwiched together plus a vulcanized rubber gasket. The gasket has broken, so I'm going to design and 3D print out of TPU a new flex plate. Because I was looking online, I cannot find a fiberglass version of this from Simplicity or Briggs & Stratton, because Briggs & Stratton owns Simplicity, and Simplicity had made a deal with Allis Chalmers to make this. So this is a Simplicity product, and now Briggs & Stratton owns Simplicity, so they don't have the part anymore, so I've got to recreate this. I'm going to 3D print it in TPU because it's flexible, it's durable, and it is capable of holding up to quite a bit, especially whenever it's thick. So we're going to try that, but that's going to be on the next video. Hopefully we get this thing running properly next time so we can actually take it out for a drive, but we have to fix that drive shaft issue right there before we can take it out for a drive. We don't want the drive shaft to explode and tear the frame in half, which is something that has happened on these things. Alright, until next time.